Hello YouTube, we are playing an early access version of Witchfire, and this is a game that has some roguelike elements, is developed by a small studio, but has crafted a world that is extremely rich in diverse enemies, fun gameplay, and rewarding difficult challenges that will have you coming back for more and more. If you're on the fence about this game or don't know exactly what it is, we encourage you to take a look right now with us as we explore early gameplay mechanics as well as what is developing to be one of the best roguelike games that is absolutely deserving of your time. We are back, so let's talk a little bit about Witchfire. So Witchfire is an upcoming first-person shooter video game developed by the Astronauts. And for those of us that do not know who the Astronauts are, it's a small 12-person studio that currently only has one game under their belt, which is The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Now that game was critically acclaimed, very good game, but it's totally different from what we are experiencing here with Witchfire. Now the action elements that you are seeing from Witchfire does come from the studio's experience with a title that was released back in 2011 called Bulletstorm. And in my time playing Witchfire, I have noticed a lot of elements that have been recycled from Bulletstorm, such as the punch that you have, it was very familiar, and actually the pistol and rifle gameplay looks very reminiscent of Bulletstorm. So the studio has experience with making action games, and the action that I have played so far is safe to say that I think we're in pretty good hands because it is very satisfying. Headshots are extremely rewarding in this game, and the guns handle in a way that makes you really consider where you place each particular shot on an enemy, because the bullet trajectory is extremely accurate, but you have to be mindful of your ammo and your resources. So here also we have the apothecary, and this is kind of like what you would see in like a Bloodborne, where you always return to this particular home style base where you can upgrade weapons, you can unlock different magic spells, you can enhance your character. So each time you go out into the mission, you will collect what's called Witchfire. And think of Witchfire as like the currency of this world. Witchfire is what you will use to enhance everything. You will enhance your spells. You will also increase stats like vitality, stamina, improve your weapons. You will do everything that you can to level up using Witchfire. And also Witchfire is coveted in a way that whenever you enter the mission, once you die, you will lose any Witchfire that you are carrying. So it makes it that much more valuable. It makes you really consider your strategy in terms of, do I want to upgrade or do I actually want to hoard Witchfire to get some more powerful abilities to level up my character? As far as the story goes, so you are actually what's called a prayer, which is a witch hunter that has been anointed by the church. And there's currently an ongoing battle between the world of witches and men. I don't think the story is going to be bad, but I do think that it's going to be such that you're not going to really care a whole lot about the story, because you're going to be on these levels so much without any story dialogue in between that you may actually kind of forget what you're fighting for. But I am intrigued in the story as well as the world that the Astronauts have crafted, because I think the actual story is going to be told more so in the levels as you progress from boss to boss, world to world, level to level, and then you will understand a little bit more in terms of what the direction that the astronauts are going for with the story of Witchfire. The weapon system seems to be pretty straightforward. You have this what's called a sanctuary here, and what you'll do is you'll come here and you'll actually research your gear and items, so you can unlock weapons as you progress, close range weapons, long range weapons, as well as medium range weapons. Because this is still an early access version of the game, we don't know exactly how many weapons are going to be in the game. We also don't know how many spells are going to be in the game. But at this particular point in the game, there is a perk system for each weapon. And the perk system, the way it works is pretty much as you use the guns, you're going to level up the guns. You see right here, enemies killed 0 out of 25. Kill 25 enemies, you'll unlock what they call the power of the weapon. So I am anxious to see exactly how many weapons are going to be in the game, how the astronauts are going to balance those weapons. I know you also have demonic weapons, which I have not unlocked yet. I believe it's a crossbow that uses demonic ammo. So these are things that we are going to be able to provide feedback for as we play through the early access version, which it sounds like the game is still probably about a year away from being released. So I'm very interested in the direction. The game so far, the gunplay is extremely satisfying. The enemies are challenging. It does require you to take a strategic approach because the worlds do adapt each and every time that you enter a world from your last quest or last attempt at that world. Which brings me to the last topic that I want to talk to is the level design and what are we doing in these levels every single time. So what I do notice is everything you do has an impact on how the levels will play out, and this is what really got me intrigued because the more you actually kill enemies, the more the witch becomes aware of your presence. And after you clear out a particular area of the map, you get these perks here where you can choose what type of buff you want to use for the remainder of that particular mission. So it's kind of like a risk reward system. Either you can continue to try to clear out the map, clear out a certain area and get buffs so that you can be stronger when you face the boss at the end, or you can try to just grind through the level up your character and then go straight for the boss. You know, it provides that freedom to the player, us the player, to be able to do and tackle these missions as we see fit. And that, in my opinion, is a recipe for success because I love player freedom in video games. Even if it's a linear story, I really appreciate the level design and giving players the freedom to replay levels differently with different enemies, different difficulty levels, different weapons, figure out what works on a particular enemy, a particular level, and come back stronger. You know, that's what we love about games like this, is that even if we don't have a sprawling story, the combat is just satisfying enough that it just keeps us coming back for more. So that is my initial take on Witchfire. A very good game, off to an extremely good start, extremely fun to play, definitely challenging, but challenging in that way that we all love about our Souls-like games. So these are my first impressions. As I said, once again, the game is currently available on PC for early access. You can pick it up in the Epic Store only. It's not available on Steam. And also leave us a comment on whether or not you're going to be playing Witchfire and what you think about the direction that the astronauts are going with this game. So stay legendary, aim true, and game on. Signing off, Jax for GT.